Hello, it is Nick with Screwball Cinema, welcoming you to a new episode of Low Budget Legends. Today I'm reviewing the 1998 film Bug Buster, or as it was also released under the title Some Things Never Die, starring Randy Quaid, George Takei, and Katherine Heigl in one of her first ever roles. You know, the first thing I noticed when I watched this is how visibly 1990s this movie is. And I say that in the sense of like when you're watching this newscast, like this is legitimately what the TV would look like in like the late 90s, like streaming the news. I even like how the news says FU2 news. The film opens with a press conference from like the president or the governor or something of this, I think, California state. And he's talking about how they're going to keep using pesticides. And George Takei is a scientist that's warning against it. We even get to hear his Sulu voice.
You have no idea.
And then next we're introduced to the character General George, who's played by Randy Quaid, fantastically in this movie, by the way. And he plays this bug exterminator who's also a war hero from Vietnam. And I mean, I know this movie gets compared a lot to the 1990 film Arachnophobia starring John Goodman. And all I can say is that this movie's done way better. Like, this character is actually treated with a lot more dignity and respect, opposed to John Goodman, who's just like making fun of blue collar workers.
From the jungles of Vietnam to the jungles you call home, I've seen the same problem everywhere. Pests. Hate them all. Roaches, ants, fleas, scorpions, and snakes.
Yeah, and Randy Quaid may be like over the top and like goofy in this movie, but he does have a lot more like charm and life than that character that came before. And it just looks like he's having a hell of a lot of fun with this movie. Like how could I ever be mad at this man, especially with this dope ass 90s commercial?
As you were.
And then we're introduced to the main character, played by Katherine Heigl, is Shannon Griffin, whose parents just bought a wooden lodge hotel up in the woods of California near this lake, and they're going to start their new business. And at last, we are met with the first spooky scene of this spooky movie, and I gotta say, it's one of the funnier jump scares I've seen.
Well, I am convinced that we would make the most People magazine-looking couple in the entire county, and the children we would have, they would be so hot. Gosh, I've never had quite that reaction.
There's something in the water. Get out of here!
And honestly, this is the most realistic response to a guy freaking out when a girl says that. But luckily, this is all a fluke as they are saved by the sheriff, and it turns out to be just a giant fish or something in the water, and they're going to investigate it when the sun comes back up. So Shannon and her family pull up to the Black Forest Lodge that they have just presumed ownership over, and literally as soon as they get there, the sheriff comes to inform them that they temporarily shut down the lake, which is the source of their business. And next we're introduced to Dr. Laura Casey, who is treating Veronica, the girl who got bit the previous night in the lake. They're trying to figure out what happened with her leg. And then later that morning, the sheriff takes a boat out on the lake to go search for what possibly bit that girl. And out of nowhere, the sheriff's deputy falls off the boat and starts struggling in the water. And then the craziest, unexpected shit just happens here.
Get a little closer, Bo! Get a little closer! Sheriff, don't shoot me! Shoot it!
I tell you, that was one hell of a shot there, Sheriff. I mean, I wasn't scared or anything, but whew.
Then you're opening the lake up again?
I don't see why not.
Oh, honey.
And then we are introduced to the main love interest of the movie, Steve, played by Viper from Full House. I mean, David Lipper.
Well, actually, my parents just bought it. I'm Shannon.
Steve Williams.
Hi.
Yeah, I work at the station down the street. Or at least until I get enough money to get out of this town.
Yeah, he does your, like, Andrew Dice Clay Jr. impersonation. I mean, it's kind of endearing, I guess. But yeah, Steve and Shannon become friends, and they're about to hit it off until his other squeeze, Veronica, comes back, and she gets all jealous.
Parents just bought the lodge.
Oh, how rustic. I'm Veronica, Steve's girlfriend. I'd better get going. It was nice meeting you both.
Veronica, why did you do that? I mean, that was completely uncalled for.
Like, I have to tell you. I mean, 2 seconds later, she'd have had her tongue practically down your throat. I saved you.
You saved me? From what?
Mono, herpes, maybe even AIDS. I don't get
Okay, that's pretty funny. So the sheriff takes that oversized mutated fish from the lake over to the Dr. Laura Casey, and she investigates it for him. And she ends up finding like a parasitic bug inside of its stomach. And she's confused by this, so she calls to get a second opinion from Dr. Fujimoto, who's played by George Takei from the intro. And he's like watching like an AI rendering of like a lobster fighting a grasshopper like 30 years before AI was invented. He takes the Neil Patrick Harris route of being like a super straight gay man.
This is Lori Casey. I was one of your graduate students.
Oh, yes. Pretty blonde. Long legs. Nice chest cavity. I remember you very nicely. Yep. Oh, sorry, Lacey. I was seeing which insect would survive. The short, powerful one I call Tyson, or the tall, fast one I call Holyfield. Tyson just bit Holyfield's antenna.
Oh, I see.
That's one thing that makes this movie so awesome is that like for low budget of a movie as it is, like it looks like they're just having a fuck ton of fun. So that makes me happy. And I like how this film subverts the whole like first death in a horror movie where it doesn't happen on the first jump scare, but actually happens out of the blue when this one band is playing live at their lodge and the bug crawls into the saxophone player's saxophone and he just like dies at the last note, freaking everybody out. And then Shannon's like terrified of bugs in this movie, so she keeps having this recurring nightmare of all these like cockroaches crawling all over her. And I love this shot of all the bugs like crawling up on the beach there. And then later that night, Katherine Heigl, she again sees that General George commercial on the TV, and she gets kind of interested by it.
Eliminator! From the jungles of Vietnam to the jungles you call home, General George kills them all. Roaches, ants, fleas, scorpions, and snakes! I hate rats, too. So the next time you see Satan's minions attacking your door, don't raise the white flag. Attack! Call General George, Pest Eliminator! I'll kick some bug ass!
Yeah, right.
So later she ends up going on a date with Viper from Full House, and then they're in the movie theater and the bugs start like getting their like food and popcorn and all that stuff, and then and two people get like literally eaten alive by bugs in the theater. And then there's like this like toxic feminist like female reporter who like is just like there to just I don't know flaunt her ego and like flex on these dead people.
These deaths can be found. Oh, ma'am? Katie Cunning, FU2 News. We understand that your grandson was actually one of the corpses identified inside. Well, that is, what could be identified from the ghoulish, bug-infested...
And I love how the sheriffs like literally haul her away because she's so damn obnoxious. It's so awesome.
Live on national television, a living corpse as it rots and oozes right before your very eyes. I'm Katie Cunning.
And then things really start intensifying from there when his previous girlfriend, Veronica, starts having an infection from that bite that she got in the lake and she ends up dying.
Do the soldiers of Satan have you by the short hairs? I'm talking bugs, my friend. And I don't mean funny. Are bugs infesting your life, making it a living hell for you and your loved ones? Well, it's time to fight back. It's time to bring out the Redeemer. Oops. So when you want to rid your life of irksome insects, call on the one who does it best. Call for General George, Pest Eliminator, and I'll kick some bug ass. General George, he's the one eradicating the insect scum. Call 1-500-KICK-ASS for the Pest Eliminator in your battlefield and tell them the General sent you, as you were.
And unfortunately, the next day, her parents are found looking like a Goosebumps book cover. And this absolute eldritch demon of a reporter comes back to just like harass and taunt all these grieving families.
Population, what's left of it? Wait in terror for night to fall. The unspeakable question on everyone's mind is who will be next? Excuse me. I am Katie Cunning, FU2 News.
I love how the sheriffs are like absolutely based in this movie. They like don't give a fuck. Like as soon as the invasion starts happening and the bugs, they literally like just deputize all the men in the city to like fucking guard for quarantine. It's so awesome.
If you leave, the bugs may leave with you. We can't have that, so you're gonna have to turn around.
Well, when can we get out?
General George coming in? It should be no time at all.
The TV bug guy?
Do any time now.
And here we are at the grand entrance of the greatest character of this film.
General George.
He's real? I thought he was just an actor in those commercials, like Colonel Sanders.
Why, that man is a living legend. He was a war hero in Vietnam.
I understand your town has a little problem.
Yeah, things have gotten pretty bad around here, so I hope you're as good as you say you are. Shannon's parents, they,
Casualties of war?
And I love for as like weird and fucking quirky as he is, like he still like doesn't take shit from anybody. It's so awesome.
Tragedy when innocent civilians lose their lives fighting a battle that wasn't theirs to fight. I'm sorry.
Thanks. I just hope you get the rest of the bugs before anyone else dies.
I leave nothing to chance. I want a full, comprehensive, all-inclusive briefing. Facts. Everything you know, I want to know. Understood?
And I love how he's like straight up like brandishes a firearm in public. It's so awesome.
You do know the war's over.
The war's never over, son. Not as long as fine, God-fearing people like yourselves are subject to the dark shadow of tyranny.
Damn, now I know why Hollywood canceled Randy Quaid. It's because he's real as fuck.
You have to know and understand the enemy. Learn their strengths. Exploit their weaknesses.
And I love how he just like does not give a shit about the rules. Like he'll just like start opening fire in public.
Have you seen the face of the enemy?
I just never want to see another bug as long as I live.
Well, don't you worry. When General George opens up his can of whip-ass, there'll be roaches in Siberia feeling the heat.
Uncle Buck.
And then things start to fire up as they find the gas station attendee dead. So they try to go towards the source, which they believe is at the lake.
And let's kick some bug ass.
So they pull up and this madman literally like starts searching the ground for fucking bug tracks, like footprints.
Lots of them.
Yep.
They appear to be amphibious. That means they can live in water and on dry land.
I love how he like smirks and confidently like says that like nobody had heard that in fucking first grade. And then him and George Takei's Dr. Fujimoto both come to the same conclusion at the same time, that the bugs are actually mutants that have a way to kill people and mutate them. And then he's like suffocated to death by the phone cord at the most inconvenient time when she needs to find out like what they are. He like of course like can't say what they are.
Question. How do they spend their days? And where?
Somewhere dark?
Yeah, where it's damp or wet.
Very good. You guys are very good. I'm very impressed.
See, Randy Quaid does an excellent job playing a batshit crazy person, both on screen and off screen. That's why I fucking love him so much.
Hungry? Question. What's dark and damp with bugs all over?
So all their leads tell them to go to this abandoned gold mine that's supposed to stretch like underneath the lake. And there was just something about this time in movies, like the late 80s through the 90s, even early 2000s, where movies just felt like bigger back then. Like they felt like an event. Like, I mean, this movie was always considered to be a quote unquote bad movie. But I mean, I'm telling you, this movie is like 100 times better than any of the shit that's coming out today.
Come on.
And then Dr. Casey returns with the sheriff's deputy, but the sheriff's nowhere to be found. And then his like shitty cop car breaks down, so he literally like commandeers some random guy's fucking horse.
You ever rode a horse before, Lori?
Oh, no. Uh-huh.
And then they end up reaching like the queen's lair of the hive, essentially, and like I love how like he basically just channels Nom flashbacks into these like random freakouts. It's so awesome.
I sense something.
What? What is it?
Movement. It ain't the walls, sweetheart.
Oh my God.
I think we hit the mother lode. It's time to put these bugs on ice! Ah! 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 Damn, I'm good!
Yeah, it looks like he's having so much fun during this scene. Like, fuck John Goodman. He can go fuck off to Epstein's Island.
You sense something?
I see something. Oh, it's you. For a minute there, I thought you were the enemy.
General George! Oh, I just love your commercials. I'm a big fan.
Are you? Jeez. Oh, well, thanks. Which one do you like the best?
Oh, you know the one with the rope where you're swinging on the rope?
Oh, yeah, the Tarzan thing. You know, thing
Will everyone cut the crap? Why don't we all get out of here?
Yeah, good idea.
Wait!
What is it? Do you see something?
Do you sense something?
I hear something.
And the whole plot twist of the sheriff being in on it the whole time, it works, and it ties the whole cast together.
The eggs.
Stand back, everyone. These bugs are gonna feel the heat of hell.
I'd put that down if I were you, General. I said drop your weapon, General.
What is this?
Now, everyone into the shaft. Now!
Son of a bitch. You knew the whole time.
And I love how this whole movie is just an homage to the 50s monster era. Like, I love how right after this plot twist and his, like, evil villain speech, he just becomes, like, fodder for this fucking queen of the bugs.
Mommy's home.
You don't actually expect me to believe that nonsense, do you? It's nightfall. She's in the lake.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Now, into the damn shaft, or I'll shoot every damned one of you, starting with the girl. Do as I say! Now!
Get out of here! Go! It's just you and me. Let's get ready to bumble. You have messed with the wrong exterminator, sweet cheeks!
And I love how this entire scene is just Randy Quaid being batshit crazy, fighting some guy in a kaiju bug costume.
Baby, let's see what you look like as a firefly! Oops. See how you like a little hot lead?
And I love how he's supposed to be some, like, war general from Vietnam, but he, like, literally keeps running out of bullets.
It's just you and me! Mano a mano! Come on! Come on! Yeah. Come on! Come on! You want a piece of me? Huh? You want a piece of me? You are really pissing me off! I'll see you in hell.
And then the bug, like, flees the cave after, like, a grenade explosion. And then the sheriff's deputy, who's, like, still good, like, gets on the horse and, like, chases it down like an episode of SpongeBob.
Oh, shit! Come on, horse, get me out of this!
Watch out, get
And then, like, General George comes, like, stumbling out of the cave, and he, like, just grabs a bazooka.
I swear! As I ride through the valley of death!
Die, you hairy bitch. I kick that bug's
Ass?
yeah.
And then afterwards, when everything's all done, they're like, "You want to stay?" And she's like, "Hell no. Like, literally the worst things in my life have just happened in this town. Like, time for me to get the fuck out forever."